Marvel Studios is in desperation mode as they try to recapture the magic of their past success. Now, up until this point, it did feel like all we were going to be getting is more of the same. You see, when Disney Marvel fails, they like to try to go back to what works. And that means bringing back the Russo brothers, or bringing back Robert Downey Jr. It all felt very lazy and very uninspired to me, and it still does to a certain degree. However, if these leaks are any indication, and if Marvel Studios actually executes this in the way that they should, which is asking a lot right now, I think the proposed movie has a lot of potential to not be the typical Marvel slop that we've been getting. Let's discuss. Our content sucks. Our content sucks.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Now, first looks have been all the talk over the past couple of days. Some studios do it really well, and others not so much. And it's hard to call these images doing something right if you consider that we wouldn't even be seeing them if somebody hadn't f***ed up. But I'm here to tell you that in a weird sort of way, it might have actually been a blessing in disguise. I just didn't feel the genuine hype for this movie, or any Marvel movie for that matter, and I think they needed something just like this to at least build a little bit of intrigue about one of their upcoming projects. Let's face it, not every movie, not every studio tries to entice their potential audience with a picture of a boot.
I understood that reference.
Sometimes, even if it's accidental, an image can surface that actually does its job. For those that don't know, supposed Avengers Doomsday concept art has leaked online, and it could contain potential spoilers, so be warned if you give a shit. Now, one of these images in particular jumped out to me, and what could be our first unofficial look at Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Now, aside from the fact that Robert Downey Jr. is presumably under the mask here, and ignoring the fact that this casting still feels gimmicky, to me you cannot deny the aura emanating from this picture. It is very clear to me that this is not going to be your typical Dr. Doom. Now, I want to stress again that this is concept art, which means that the final product could end up looking very different. But if the movie does end up looking something like this, it will easily be one of the more interesting things that Marvel has done in a very long time. The idea of a medieval-inspired setting, likely set in Battleworld, being ruled over by this version of Dr. Doom does offer a lot of storytelling and visual potential.
I like it a lot.
Especially when you consider that there are other leaked photos of an alternate version of Doctor Strange standing at his side, and what appears to be one Reed Richards in captivity. Any chance it could be the John Krasinski Reed Richards and not Pedro? No? Well, you can't win them all. We have another interesting picture of a seemingly recast T'Challa Black Panther. Now, this has become a point of contention on the internet daily, but does this concept art at the very least suggest that Marvel is open to the idea of finally recasting T'Challa? Something they should have done a long time ago. If they use this movie to right some wrongs, using the multiverse concept in a way that they should have been using it from the beginning, that would show me that Marvel, at the very least, is trying to learn from their past mistakes.
We don't do that here.
Or this just could end up being T'Challa's son or brother, and in that instance, that's just not acceptable to me personally. We have another image of what appears to be Hulk and She-Hulk in a village setting. Unfortunately, it looks like the Smart Hulk version of the character is still in the plans, and that shouldn't be exciting to anyone who actually likes the Hulk as a character. I mean, Marvel has done this character enough harm at this point, so at the very least I hope they consider using this movie to revert Hulk back to his factory settings. As far as She-Hulk, I guess her return was inevitable. My only hope is that they use her in a way in this movie that's a little less cringe and a little bit more badass. On the downside of things, the art does feature a scene with Wong and the Young Avengers in a more futuristic setting. And I can't think of another group of people that I can actually give less of a shit about.
I don't care!
If Marvel is truly dedicated to turning things around, it would be in their best interest to not pursue any storylines that involve any of these characters. If these are the characters that you are relying on to carry your franchise into the future, then I would say don't bother. At that point, it would just be better to go the full reboot route, either with this movie or with Secret Wars. That way you can bring back characters that will actually be able to carry a movie. And the Young Avengers, I'm sorry to tell you, are not the characters to do that. So I did see some bad and some good in this leaked concept art. I think a Battle World focused film for Doomsday is the right way to go, especially if a good portion of the movie will have a medieval aesthetic. That is the type of concept that could set this movie apart from all of the other garbage that Marvel has been producing recently.
That makes sense.
A comic-inspired storyline with what I'm sure is going to be an MCU twist to it. If Marvel truly wants to go back to basics, to me, that shouldn't involve them just going and reaching into the past and getting actors that people recognize. What it should mean to me is that it's time for Marvel to go back to the source material. Now, the downside of all of this is they really haven't laid the groundwork for a story like this to truly be effective. It does feel like they are kind of rushing into it because they are desperate to reestablish a buzz. And that is a massive problem for Marvel Studios. It's been a problem for them for some time now. And it's a big reason why I don't have a lot of faith in anything they put out. They need to earn that trust back, and no, some nice concept art is not enough to do that. The truth is that this could look fantastic on paper and in concept, but if the execution isn't there when bringing it to life, none of this will matter.
It's true.
So in short, sure, it's a decent start, and I'm intrigued, but now it's up to Marvel to follow through. These images are now out there, you can't take it back, and with these images might come some loftier expectations. Will Marvel be able to live up to that? That remains to be seen.
Y'all be cool. Right on.